We're going to start our meeting, and this meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of June 14th, 2022, with instructions for internet access, was included in a meeting notice sent to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post way back on January 6, 2022, and advertised in said newspapers on January 9th, 2022, and January 12th, 2022, and respectfully posted on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building on January 6, 2022, and has remained continuously posted as required under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of our municipal clerk. So the first order would be our flag salute, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor McLaughlin?
Here.
Mr. Levinson?
Here.
Mr. Klaus?
Here.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Here.
Mr. Montgomery?
Here.
Okay, so we have a quorum. Bruce Levinson is at his home in Missouri, his summer home, and he's online, so he's present for all intents and purposes. First, we have the approval of the regular meeting minutes of May 10th, 2022. We have a motion.
Motion. Second?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. And then the executive session minutes of May 10th, 2022, please.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. In our report section, we have the tax collector, code enforcement, fire official, construction, emergency service report, and the New Jersey State Police will have an in-person report, but I'd like to get a motion on the other reports first.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So in the back, we have Sergeant Antonucci and Officer Troy McNair. Would you fellas come on up and speak with us, please? I was very happy that Officer McNair is our school resources officer, and he's spending time in our school, which I'm sure you would like to speak about.
Okay. I'm just going to start off with just some crime safety tips. Vehicle thefts and burglaries are on the rise all across the state. So just a continuing reminder to residents to please lock your cars and secure any valuables. Never leave your keys or key fob in your vehicle. Do not leave your vehicle running while unattended. Park your car in well-lit areas. Ensure all windows are closed and make sure all doors are locked. Also, if anyone sees any suspicious individuals walking around, looking into cars, please contact us so we can respond. Like I said before, it's not an issue per se, it's an issue across the whole state. When, tough economic times, things like that, we're going to see increases like this. Also, the catalytic converters are still an issue. If one is stolen, please report it. You're usually going to have when you start your vehicle, it's going to be extremely loud, and when you press on the gas pedal, the noise is just going to increase, and you may notice like a rotten egg type smell. We're working with other municipalities in conducting numerous investigations to try to identify suspects. And I know earlier this year we had, there was an abandoned well, it wasn't I guess the house was for sale, nobody was living in it, and somebody broke in and stole all the copper. So just a reminder to residents, just look out in your neighborhood for any suspicious activity, and just give us a call. We're always out there, we're conducting patrols and property checks in order to prevent these types of crimes. Also, Bordentown troopers have attended several events. We were at the Memorial Day ceremony and the Community Day. It was an honor to be there. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for coming.
It's wonderful.
And as always, if there's any non-emergent issues in the town, you can always contact Paula. She will relay the information to me. Any crimes or any emergencies, dial 911, and Trooper will be here. And Trooper McNair will speak upon the schools.
I'm Trooper McNair. I'm the current SRO. So due to the unfortunate events going on around the world with school shootings, I just want to ensure that our main priority is to protect and invest in the kids. We haven't really changed much as far as security, but we are making sure more troopers are visible at each school. Of course, Hainesport. The goal is to strengthen the defense of the campus as far as deterring criminal and terrorist activity. So we are conducting more periodic school checks. I'm in the school majority of the day, but I split time with Wrightstown as well. We have mappings of the school. Keys are available for all troopers prior to shift to take in, just in case there is any type of activity or an emergency, so they're able to get into the school. Periodic, like I said, property checks are conducted. Every month, I conduct a check of all the emergency exits, the windows, the doors, and I do a report on my end, just so everyone knows if they ever call, like, well, this door wasn't working correctly. There's a report stating that the door was locked. Everything is adjusted as is. Also knowing the number of exterior entrances and windows as well is needed to be known. Hainesport, they don't have any stairways, so we don't have an issue with that. I reached out to the principal to kind of try to get on paper like safe zones. So God forbid there is any type of activity, everyone knows, you guys included, fire department, EMS, a safe zone where all kids can be placed if there was an event. Also, troopers, twice a year, we conduct a scenario-based trainings for active shooter events. We are pushing to try to have more than just 2 a year, because it's kind of hard to, you do it twice a year and then to remember all the tactical drills that are done. So we're trying to push for more than twice a year. School administrators, I've talked to them. They should be able to continue to be active and have open communication with the students as well to prevent any future problems due to mental illness and things like that that's going on right now. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
appreciate
Trooper.
it.
Thanks.
Next, we have a presentation by State Senator Gene Stanfield and Assemblyman Brandon Umba.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here and see everyone again. And we're in the process right now of going out to the different towns just to let you know we're here. We want to help you. We've been able to help a number of communities with things from whether it's the Department of Transportation, New Jersey Transit, different issues that come up. So we just want you to know we're a resource. Assemblyman Mike Teresi wasn't able to be here tonight, but Assemblyman Brandon Umba is here, and I'm going to turn it over to him.
Thank you, Mayor and Township Committee. So on behalf of Assemblyman Teresi and obviously the Senator, we just wanted to start off. We're doing the entire summer, doing a town tour. So every town in our district, we are going out, giving you pamphlets on how to contact our office and the various services that we provide that we can help with the town and then also with your residents. It is important to be able to have that connectivity with our office, and we want to make sure that your residents know that we're here to serve them. It is busy budget season right now. We're both kind of in the thralls of trying to get the state budget passed and make sure that it meets the needs of our communities. One of the big initiatives that I'm pushing in the Assembly is accountability with regards to the American Rescue Plan money and ensuring that that rescue plan money is getting down to the municipalities. We did announce, the state did announce a $10 million grant program for volunteer fire departments to submit for equipment. That was put out there, was an egg notice issued by DCA. I'm pretty sure Paula was able to get that. If you need any assistance or if you need a letter of recommendation for your first responders, please get out to us and let us know, and we'll write that for you. So with that, I'll leave you with some pamphlets for the services that our office provides. Then I'll also leave you with my business card so you can contact both of us in any need of assistance from our office. So thank you again for having us, and continue doing the great things that you're doing for Hainesport Township.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you. All right. Okay, terrific.
We can take two and give one to Bruce. Bruce Levinson, I have a card for you.
Thank you, sir.
So next we have comments from the public on items that are on tonight's agenda only, please. So does anybody have any comments they'd like to make? Anybody online?
We do have one resident online in addition to Committeeman Levinson.
Okay, I'll close public comment since there appears to be none. So we have a variety of consent agenda resolutions, which usually get voted on all at once. I like to go through them just so the public knows that what's going on actually, and that we are involved in a lot of issues. So I'm not going to read them off by number, just what they are. Authorize a renewal of liquor licenses in town, confirming employment for seasonal public works and summer recreation employees. Of course, we have a lot of grass to cut and a lot of extra cleanup to do during the summer months, so we always like to add a little bit of staff to our public works to get that going. We're certifying a municipal park development project completion, approving a block party for Stonehaven Lane. We are going to amend the adopted budget for additional items of revenue and offsetting appropriations. Chapter 159, a New Jersey recycled tonnage grant. We're going to amend the adopted budget again for additional items of revenue and offsetting appropriations for the New Jersey Clean Communities grant. We're going to acknowledge a budgetary commitment for volunteer firefighting services. We're acknowledging a budgetary commitment for our volunteer emergency squad. We're supporting an appropriations and levy cap exemption for a 3-year period for increases in liability, workers' compensation, cyber liability, and property insurance. And we're going to accept the design and build of the Phase 7 all-inclusive playground. So if the committee chooses, I would accept a resolution for these, or a motion for these resolutions.
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Okay, so these are individual resolutions, 2022-91-6, accept 71,000 in additional fiscal year 21 CDBG funds through Burlington County, substantial amendments to the 2020 and 2021 annual action plans for the purpose of installing PIP ADA compliant surfacing at all municipal park fitness stations. That's long, but Paula, would just put safety, some safe, material down in the playgrounds, correct?
Correct. It eliminates the shredded rubber tire
Right.
material that used to be at the playground, that it still exists under the 4 exercise stations in the park. And it funds the poured-in-place surface material so that it's ADA compliant and accessible for wheelchairs and persons with disabilities.
So it's amazing how I guess, regulations or rules or opinions about playgrounds change year to, over the years. So I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at what was done with the new playground, but it's quite impressive out there. And I thank you I'm sure the committee thanks you for getting that done for
Yeah,
us.
great work and great work with the grants to help pay for all that. And it's nice to see us keeping up with the regulations and the safeties and making it eligible
And the
for.
kids loved it.
Yes, yes. And we opened it for a community day right before we started, right?
So this resolution accepts some funding.
I make a motion, we accept.
Second that?
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Resolution 2022-92-6 amends the adopted budget for additional items of revenue and offsetting appropriations, again, the CDBG grant.
Motion. Second?
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Now, Resolution 2022-93-6 authorizes the purchase and installation of playground safety surface material for our municipal park and fitness stations to World Construction through a state contract.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Resolution 2022-94-6, support of Ingerman's request to the Burlington County Commissioners for gap funding through the county's American Rescue Plan allocation for Randolph Estates Senior Citizens Affordable Homes Project at the Christian Faith Assembly.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Now, Resolution 2022-95-6 authorizes an advertisement request for professional services at Paul's Tank Farm cleaning service property. That's one of the 2 remaining polluted sites that we're working on to clean up. We peck away at it a little every year.
I'd like to make a motion.
Resolution?
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Resolution 2022-96-6 authorizes submission of a HDSRF grant application for the remedial investigation cost for Paul's Tank Farm property. And by the way, all the work that's been done to date on all these properties, going back as long as I've been here, 20-something years, were through grants. So good job to our administrator for keeping it going.
Here, here.
Thank you, Paula.
I'll make a motion. We accept.
Second?
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes, yes. Resolution 2022-97-6 authorizes an amendment to our employee handbook to add volunteer emergency responder policies. We have at least one employee that's a volunteer firefighter, and this helps them and enables them to respond to emergencies. And I personally think this is terrific that we, have this employee on hand who's also a member of our fire department. So it enables him and any others that come after him to be able to respond to an emergency. And we need a resolution that have them to be able to do that. So this is it. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. Resolution 2022-98-6 appoints a new chief financial officer. Paula, if you'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So we received 3 applications for this position. It's a very difficult position to fill. It seems that CFOs are becoming harder and harder to find. But the decision was quite easy. It's my recommendation, along with Committeewoman Gilmore, as the liaison of the Finance Department, to make the recommendation to appoint Michael D. Hoff for the part-time position of Chief Financial Officer. And he would be filling the remainder of the current CFO's term, which runs through December 31 of 2023.
Okay?
And Mr. DeHoff apologizes that he's not here this evening. He is away on family vacation.
And when is his start date again? He's July 1, right?
I believe
I
so.
believe it was a document.
Yes, effective July 1.
Hmm?
You missing something?
Yeah. I got it. Okay, we have a motion and a second on that?
I'll make the motion.
98.6.
I'll second it.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes, and the next and last resolution tonight is 2022-99-6, which appoints a consultant to assist with the transition in our Township Finance Office.
And that is our existing CFO, Donna Condo.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah, and by the way, I might note, as long as we're on finances, that we had our exit interview from our
For our,
The audit.
our audit
Yep.
today,
Yes.
and how'd we do?
fantastic.
There were no
No
findings.
findings.
No findings.
We're in stellar shape.
Stellar was the word used.
Stellar.
Yes.
And I might add that
Stellar.
Hainesport will be debt-free at the end of this year, at the end of this budget. That's now, we'll have no long-term or short-term debt of any kind. And I think that's terrific. Yeah. And that's a rarity.
Thank you, Donna.
And I think that's a reflection on, not on the committee, but on the professionals that run, that do the actual work. And we'll take credit for hiring them, absolutely. So, we have some business licenses.
Wait,
We have to vote on it. Yes.
I made the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. So we have some business licenses to approve.
Yeah, we have a chocolate company coming.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. So we'd
I
like-
move that we accept the business licenses.
Second.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes. In the correspondence, we have a resignation letter of Bianca Coniglio from and to the Joint Land Use Board. So I'd like to make a motion.
Make a
that
motion, we accept that letter.
Okay. You have a vote?
You have a second?
Yeah, I made the motion, he seconded it.
Oh, okay.
Jerry seconded it.
Second.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
And the mayor generally recommends planning board members to the committee, and I make a suggestion that we move alternate number 4, Chris Murphy, to alternate 2, and appoint Steve Noarita, who's out here, to alternate 3. Steve's somewhat of a celebrity in my mind. His last position, which he just retired from, he was a senior advisor of and director of player development for the Phillies. Then he was with the Chicago White Sox, player and development and scouting. He played ball for the Texas Rangers and Chicago White Sox. So I'd like to present Steve to the planning board for that.
I'll second those, I guess there were 2, right? Move Chris up and move Steve
Right,
in?
yeah.
So I'll second those that dual motion.
Okay. If I can make a request to amend our agenda to include a resolution on that, and I would number that 2022-100A-6. So if I could request a motion to amend the agenda first?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
And then if I may,
And now the resolution 100A is the resolution is that the resolution to move Chris also?
yeah, so it's,
Appoint Steve?
right, it's memorializing the mayor's appointment of, moving alternate number 4 to alternate number 2 position, and that would be Chris Murphy, and then your appointment to alternate number 3. And alternate 4 would be vacant.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
okay.
Again.
So we made a motion, okay. So we just need a vote now.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Welcome aboard, Steve.
Thank
I
And Chris is working his way up the ladder, so it's
Yes,
good.
yes. I was an alternate, I think, for 3 to 4 years, and it's probably one of the most interesting things that happens in town is the planning board. At least I find it very, very interesting. So welcome aboard, and I appreciate you're willing to step up and be of service. So with that, we will have comments from the public on anything you would like to comment on. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Anna Evans, 63 Parry Drive. First of all, I just wanted to compliment the township on the Memorial Day ceremony, which I thought was amazing, lovely, and particularly that young lady who sang was incredible.
Genevieve.
Really, really good. Then I just have a question kind of out of left field. What's with these sinkholes? Anyone?
Sinkholes?
The sinkholes? There's been a sinkhole that popped up in Northampton Avenue and by Lawrence Boulevard.
Could be because of the rain.
What's that?
Could be because of all the rain we've had. I don't know, though. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Between Steins and where the other sinkhole.
I was on 38.
So I think the main one was on 38, but I just checked the thread about it on Hainesport Happenings, and apparently there's one on Northampton Avenue as well.
Well, the ones that are on our streets, be assured our public works will get out there right away. The county, I mean, and the state
Yeah, I know the Route
highway,
38 one is.
I'm sure
They
they'll,
took care of it right away.
they'll jump right on it. Yeah, I mean, water tables moving around and disappearing, and it's a crazy world out there. So we'll deal with it as we can.
Absolutely. All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, come on up. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Jim and Michelle Perscavage, 51 Easton Way. Thank you for all that you do. The budget thing, that's great, but outside fire firm evaluation progress, do you guys have an update on that?
So Paula had her first meeting with
Yep.
our consultants today.
Okay, so they're hired.
They're hired and when are they actually starting?
They started today.
They
We had our
started
kickoff
today.
meeting today.
Okay.
Jerry, as you know, is our liaison to the fire department.
Yep.
Would you like to
Yeah, I can give you an update. Are you ready?
Yeah, that's the next, that's the,
rest of what's
Okay.
going on?
We have a new driver approved for engine 12, and we have 2 drivers are right around 3 to 5 hours from being approved on 11, which is our largest engine. So,
that's great.
yeah, and the one going to be approved on 11 works at the school, so he has the ability to leave the school, which is great. The Mount Laurel truck that had the problem with the adapters,
Yep.
they've been changed. And from
Mount
what
Laurel's been changed or the adapters?
the adapters on that Mount Laurel truck, because they were damaged. And they're tested, and then from what I understand, they replaced them with two of them on that truck. They did make some staffing changes, so hopefully that corrects some issues. So that's about where we are. I will tell you, I was there Wednesday night, and it was about 10 o'clock, and they're getting ready to leave. And they had an alarm, they had a fire. And it's amazing how, you think you hear, we got a fire, but
You were at Mount Laurel or you were at?
I was at Hainesport, and they had to go to West Hampton, and just to see, they're getting like ready to go home, which is nice, and they don't even think nothing of it. But get in the truck, go. That's amazing. It's amazing the dedication that I see in the way they respond with not even a thought of complaint.
We have some new students, right? There's a few new students that have taken courses and.
Yeah, basically, I've been working on getting people approved to drive a truck.
Right.
If we can't get the trucks out there, we have a problem.
How
So,
much have you staffed up since?
I don't know how
few
many
months?
we've been up to. I know they're doing I haven't kept on the lower end, because they come in as fire police, and then they transition in. So I don't have the numbers on the new people in. I know there's been like 3 or 4.
That's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, but it does transition up.
Right.
But my big push is get these guys approved. I want to get our employee approved on the rescue truck first. There's all different stages they go, which
Yep.
is, which I'm learning a lot. It's amazing. I'm asking all these questions. I was there last night when they're jacking up a car with an airbag, and and where's that, and what kind of blocking do you use? And I feel like the kid who asked all the questions, But it's the more I know, the more I can understand it, and the more assistance I can be.
But again, looking at this thing from 50,000 feet, we have 2 criteria that are managing our expectations, and one is the national standard of putting water on a fire around 12 minutes, 13 minutes, which we've talked about, you and I, and then the other thing is a real roster of who's going to be there and when.
Yeah.
And then with the overshadowing problem of volunteerism is dying quickly. So again, we need to see what the consultant.
Comes up.
Yeah, what they come back with.
The fellas that are there, I can tell you, even through, your situation, I can tell you there's some real remorse. I don't know if you've, experienced it on the part of all of us, actually. And we're just, we're making some changes here.
Yep.
And we just can't exactly tell you exactly what they're gonna be, because I don't think we know just yet, other than some of the things that Jerry's talked, the immediate improvements that.
Well, like we talked about early on, the first meeting I stood up here, I said, I'll be here every month, and, we expect progress. That's what you guys are here for, and that's what we're here for. I'd help you, but I'm pretty busy these days on trying to get our
Are
house.
you gonna rebuild there?
Yeah, we are. We're gonna rebuild there. We're making progress. The insurance company's been great, and, we'll
Okay,
just-
well, I'm glad you're not
That's
leaving.
good.
We'll get through all that.
You
It's
guys are a part of the community, and
it's every
glad
day.
you're staying.
The other couple of issues, hydrant maintenance,
Did we hear back from Mount Holly MUA?
Yeah. You mean American Water?
American Water?
American Water.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
did they have to say?
They gave me their maintenance schedule.
Okay,
So they've been maintenance, they were all in fine working condition prior to my house burning down?
Well, I didn't get the disposition of the schedules, I just got their maintenance, the flushing schedule for 2021 and 2022. I have the specific, every single hydrant. I don't really understand what this means, but I have the detail for every single hydrant.
Yeah, for the benefit
Over
of,
500 of them. I don't know which hydrant goes to where. They're numbered, equipment ID, date inspected, the time
Yep.
they were in, the type of inspection, the gallons flowed, the gallons per minute, GPM, the minutes flowed, the static pressure, the pre-residual free chlorine, post-residual free chlorine, pre-total chlorine, post-total chlorine, remarks, who was inspected by, the hydrant and tag status, and the date added to their system.
You know, it's, one thing I've learned is now I pay attention to other towns and their problems, and I know there's some neighboring towns that have some problems with when they weren't opened and exercised, they get stuck.
Yep.
And that's what's most important. We go through a flushing, that way they're exercised.
It gets flushed every April.
Yeah, so
I've
if
lost
they get flushed,
process.
they're exercised. And the problem is, you don't know, if they get stuck, it's because they weren't exercised for the most part.
for the benefit of Brandon and Jean, the Priscaviges are real entwined in our community, and they had a house fire and lost their home. And we're taking a look at it. I'm glad that, Brandon, you got up and talked.
You could use American Rescue Plan
Right,
money in
right.
order to upgrade each of the fire hydrants. So
Yeah.
as you guys know, I'm also a volunteer fireman, third generation volunteer fireman. So you could use and submit under the $10 million grant that the state announced for firefighting assistance. And what you could do is upgrade every hydrant to have a quick response sorts connection on each of the hydrants. So all it is universal sorts that each fire department then can just go in and click.
That would have been wonderful back on March.
So that is a grant that you could do. Some communities have done it. I know New Jersey American normally does not put that on their hydrants, but it would be an item that would be owned by Hainesport. And if you did change water companies, you would then get those source connections back. So that is something that you could put in a grant for, and are also
I'm sure we'll
happy to help assist.
That, well, we're gonna need your help. We're gonna do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, right now, we have a Mount Holly thread, and was part of the problem.
Yep.
So,
Do you want to talk about that?
Thanks, Brandon.
I did reach out to Melissa yesterday after you called. She doesn't feel as though she needs to be recognized, but she will be here.
Yeah, we just didn't have time to get together what we wanted to
Yeah.
get
Not having a
together,
good
so
day.
I pushed it off. Yeah, so
That's
I'm gonna push it off to next month.
Yeah, that's fine. She sent a very nice, like 6-inch long text, so.
Okay, well,
All right, thank you. Keep up the
Thank you,
good
everybody.
work.
thank you.
thanks.
Anybody else with a public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. Deborah Harris, 7 Elsinore Drive. So I just wanted to say kudos to the committee for a wonderful wellness day. The kids in attendance had a really great time, especially my kid. So, job well done. I've been using the app, and for the most part, it's been very helpful. I just have 2 suggestions. If you could add in the ordinances, if you have any kind of version updates coming, the ordinances would be wonderful to have in there as a resource. And also to refine the notifications. Notifications come through on the iOS, but they don't specify what the notification is. And when you actually launch the app, it's difficult to actually locate where the notification came from within the app. But otherwise, it's been wonderful. So my last item is, and I think, I'm sorry, you have a question?
Just try updating it.
I did. Yeah, and I did an iOS update as well. So I have the latest version of the iOS.
Okay, because I know it helped. I haven't gotten those crazy. And it goes right to tells me where.
Yeah, it doesn't go to the source of the notification, so I'm not sure what the disconnect is there between like the device receiving the notification and then launching the app and locating the source of the notification within the app. There does seem to be like a coding disconnect there, so. But thank you. I think it's fortuitous that the newest Planning Commission member is here tonight. I just wanted to make the committee aware, if you are not already, as of Friday, the state has released some specific guidelines on warehouses, where they should be located, really putting the power within the municipalities, but now providing the municipalities with some really specific guidelines. For example, conducting a CBA, looking at tangibles as well as intangibles. So one of the things that they said was that the existing land ordinances might not be sufficient enough. So especially those light industrial, oftentimes warehouse projects meet those specific requirements, and there's really not enough sufficiency within some of those zonings to capture things like air pollution, traffic, greenhouse gas, other environmental harms like water, as well as the impact on neighboring communities. So I know there's been some concern lately in terms of residents, and I'm sure we're all hearing about it, not only here in our township, but in other neighboring townships as well. So I wanted to make the committee aware of that. I read through them. They're extremely helpful. Their guidance is going to be, I think, invaluable to some of the local townships who are facing the inundation, I think, of these requests.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else with a comment? Anybody online? Okay, we'll close public comment and ask for comments from our administrator.
So just to reiterate, I did have our kickoff meeting with the Public Safety Institute team today to begin the formal evaluation of fire and EMS services. So right now we are just in the gathering stage, gathering information, doing some public document requests with the county in terms of dispatches for the last 3 years, some in-house data, and developing a contact list for them. Again, we had our grand opening of the playground prior to Community Day. I thought it was quite a success, and I too enjoyed the playground. I got to play on it before anyone. So it's been a wonderful project, 3-year project, and I'm so happy that it's finally here for the community and the residents. Again, our next project is the PIP Port in Place. Hopefully that will get started within the next several months. And I don't believe I reported out the last time, but I did submit a couple grants for the electric vehicle charge station for here at the municipal building, BPU grant for $75,000, as well as the state's Drive Green grant for $200,000. And we will also leverage those grant funds with our construction office, since they will be the primary user of the electric vehicle once we get one. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments from our solicitor?
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor. Always a pleasure to be here.
Nice to be here,
So
Scott.
I'm actually going to grab the first public comment tonight. As pretty much all of us know, we had a tragic accident last week with a tree that had fallen on a passing motorist, and I know the woman was actually fatally wounded, and I don't know the disposition of the driver. Turns out that I have friends that are, friends of, but the news media reached out to us. I don't know if any of the committee, but I had all 3 barrage me. They found me, and the court wanted a comment, and I really didn't say I didn't have a comment, but, it's something that needs to be looked at. And, we actually have been reticent in adopting our sidewalk ordinance, which caused quite a bit of consternation in my immediate neighborhood with some of the sidewalks that some what I consider poor planning done many, many years ago. And I've learned that's called the devil zone now, in between the sidewalk, from talking to the PSE&G and the phone guys. So we wanted to correct some of those misgivings, because again, this is Hainesport, and we were Hainesport 30, 40 years ago when we allowed those trees to be planted there, and we're Hainesport now. So I figured in the committee and the administrator, we all bought in, and we fixed those sidewalks, and it turned out to not be as big of a deal as it sounded. So now we've done our part and fixed sidewalks. We have some other areas in town that need attention for the same reason. And we're going to adopt that, we're going to bring that ordinance to the floor next meeting, which clearly identifies who's responsible for trees in Hainesport that are hanging over the highway. And correct me if I'm wrong, I know our solicitors, listen, John's been involved in the ordinance. It's not, we're not able to just go cut every tree down. If you ride around now, I look up at all these trees, especially we go through Moorestown to get to Route 130 down Tom Brown Road. Some of those trees are like, So that ordinance, if I'm not mistaken, will take care of who's responsible for those trees in the, so to speak, right of way. Am I correct on that?
Well, anything within the right of way.
Right.
That is adjacent to the property owner,
Right.
whether it's a sidewalk, whether it's grass, whether any kind of vegetation, it would be very clearly defined as to who is responsible for that, as most municipalities have that ordinance in place already.
Right. So again, we've done a sidewalk study of sidewalks that have lifted from what I call poor planning issues back in the old days, where we've repaired at least almost half of them. Maybe we have some more to go, and that ordinance. So I couldn't make a comment to the media about, they wanted to know well, that's the comment right there, that, and we're one of most of the municipalities have an ordinance in effect in the surrounding area, clearly placing the responsibility on the adjacent property owner for the maintenance of of that area. So, that's my comment. Well, Leila, would you like to follow?
Bruce.
Pardon me?
Don't forget Bruce.
No, I won't forget Bruce.
Okay, well, thank you. So, yes, good evening, and thank you, Jean and Brandon, for coming this evening. I just want to say this past month here in Hainesport was amazing. We celebrated Jay Jones by renaming the Public Works building in his honor. The atmosphere was filled with love from his family, friends, and co-workers. The fire department celebrated their 100th anniversary. Memorial Day had a record number of participants. There were 19 wreaths presented. A bagpiper was there along with two of Hainesport young adults. Genevieve McMullen sang, and Jonathan Solstice Jr. played taps. We also had 2 invited speakers, and 8 more banners were put out in the park. We've had the all-inclusive playground reopening. After cutting the ribbon, several dozen children rushed to be first on all of the new equipment. And then there was the Community and Wellness Day. Over 1,200 people, and we had a little thing, attended. There were inflatables, dozens of local businesses, our volunteer fire department, and EMTs, DJ, food trucks. The state police was there in full force. The Marine unit, the helicopters were there, the canine unit. It was wonderful. A special shout out to Jefferson University faculty and students for the teddy bear clinic, food demonstrations and tastings, the obstacle course, the Gift of Life program, and DNA extraction. And there was just so much more that was happening that day. And the weather was perfect. At the June 23rd Senior Citizens Meeting, there'll be a special food demonstration by Chefs for Seniors. There's an extreme need for food items at the pantry. And if you're able to, please drop off food items to the Township building, and we will deliver them to the food bank. The list is out in the hallway, and it's always posted on the website and through the app. I hope you all have a very nice Father's Day, and happy 4th of July.
And Leila is very involved in the planning of those fairs, and I want to thank you. You really make it home for all of us. I really
Yeah,
do.
we
Thank you.
couldn't do it all without
Donna is
Donna
right
Casey.
there with her. Yes,
God
I was going to
bless.
mention Donna Casey, who's not here tonight. She's just terrific and put together some nice events. So Ken, you have a comment?
Okay.
tonight?
Yes, just really happy to see the progress with the fire and EMS departments, and glad to see that. I want to wish everybody a happy Flag Day. I wore my flag tie, today and have flags out in front of my house. I didn't see many around the neighborhoods, which usually we do. So apparently it's Flag Week. Paula, is that what we talked about? I never knew this. So it's Flag Week. So you have more days to put your flags out or pull them up the flagpole. Today, I usually speak at the Hainesport graduation, which takes place at Rancocas Valley High School, as a member of the Hainesport Education Foundation. Unfortunately, we have a board meeting here, but want to congratulate our 8th grade graduates from Hainesport School going on to high school. Many of them will be at Rancocas Valley, and also our kindergartners from Hainesport are graduating today. So, want to congratulate them. Want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. I lost my father, unfortunately, last year, so just want to tell you to go spend some time with your dad and honor him, and happy 4th of July, which is also a big anniversary for my wife and I. We're married on the 4th of July a couple of years ago. So, and thank you to the Senator, Assemblyman for coming, and our troops for protecting us and monitoring our school. Jerry?
I want to second all the work done by our township, especially Donna Casey, on our Memorial Day event, Community Day. It was fabulous. She really did well. The 100th anniversary of the fire department went well. Everything really went well. I do want to mention Don Platt. He's the president of our EMS. He is retiring. He's still, though, fire call, he's still there. He comes, he jumps in engine 11, drives, and, but I think he's just giving up his role as being president. But he's been a long time. I forget the write-up on it, but he's been here a long time, and we're quite, indebted to him. So, but thank you all, and everybody enjoy their Father's Day, and that's it.
And last but not least, Bruce, how's the weather out there in Missouri?
It's hot. We had 109 heat index. But luckily, I can do what my wife tells me regularly, I can jump in the lake. But I think everybody has said it all. I do want to wish Happy Father's Day for everyone. And also, I want to just kudos to everybody who helps to make all of our township events really wonderful events. I saw all of our township committee members partaking in all the things that we did at the Memorial Day celebration as well as Hainesport Day. And the volunteers, they were there from morning basically till night. And we really can't do what we do without the help of the volunteers. And I encourage more volunteerism throughout our community, and I hope others will participate. And Ken, I just wanted to say happy anniversary, happy Father's Day, anybody. And Ken, that's a wonderful tie.
Are you seeing this?
Right here.
Yes,
Wow. I was my pin and my, when you get married on the 4th of July, everyone gives you these gifts, so I have lots of them.
I was actually going to suggest that we said the Pledge of Allegiance to your tie.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
But I don't know if that would have...
That would have been pretty awkward,
that would have been
yeah.
appropriate at times. But,
I could have stood in front of the flag, there you go.
I'll tell you, when that state police helicopter flies in,
that was impressive.
it gets the people's attention. That is just commanding and spectacular when that thing comes in. It's really the presence that the state police exhibited at our events and in our township are just impressive. The mounted police were here. Fire department, they had a terrific exhibit, which we actually went in about where they teach children what to do in a burning home. Unbelievable. So it was really great. And again, Leela and Donna and the rest of our staff put that on, and it was very, very impressive. So with that, we'll close comments from the committee, and we have a bill list. Would anybody like to pay bills?
I make that motion.
I will second.
Okay, vote please.
Mr. Klaus?
Yes.
Mr. Levinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Gilmore?
Yes.
Mr. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mayor McLaughlin?
Yes, and with that, would anybody like to make a motion that we adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I do want to acknowledge that there will not be executive session.
Oh, yes.
Even though it's on the
Yeah, that's why I
agenda.
didn't bring it up. There's no executive session. It was on the agenda, but we didn't have it, so I didn't bring it up. But all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, another one in the books. Thank you for
Bruce.
coming.
See you, Bruce. Be safe out there.
Yeah, Bruce, go, stay in the lake.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
I heard they were having a heat wave.
Triple digits.
really